Hello guys, welcome to the Friday forecast. So last day of the week and we have started to get some nice price action. So let's take a look at the euro and US dollar. I do like this. We are getting this clean ascending. Actually, we got a clean ascending right here. And there was an opportunity to enter on a trade. So let me take this back. At this point, I was definitely looking to enter on a long trade. So I wanted to see a descending structure to the entry point, and the entry point would be the most recent high. So this would be a break and retest type of a continuation entry or a continuation pattern. But what actually happened, so we did start to get a bit of a pause. It was good, and I was also looking for a flag, but then we did not get that entry candle. Instead, we just got momentum to the downside, and right after this candle I removed my order. Actually, I didn't even have an order on because I didn't want to see this momentum shift to the entry area. It was a very bad sign because then it actually signaled to us a V reversal, and usually when we get a V reversal we continue in the opposite direction, so we do something like this. So I was not looking for a long trade, and then what happened, we got a nice impulse to a downside. So we got this reversal. As I marked before, we got a reversal from this ascending structure. This actually turned out to be a break and a retrace. So now at this point, I am definitely liking this price action. I do like this impulse down. It is a clean close, but for me personally, I probably won't be taking any trades because it is the end of Friday, and I usually trade until 5 p.m. So that's the cutoff time. I don't take any trades after 5 p.m. And I want to see a high probability trade after 12 p.m. So in the period between 12 p.m. and in between the period of 12 a.m. and 5 p.m. I want to see a really high probability setup. And after 5 p.m. on Friday, I don't take any sort of trades. So that is just my rule. But this can form a nice flag, something like this. And then we can get a nice flag, but for me, I probably will be staying out since I don't think it will form as a high probability setup. And the prior price action is looking good, but it's not that high probability. Usually when I say I want to see a high probability setup, it's usually just a combo trade. So a combination between a break and a retest and the flag, something like this. And since the entry area for the combo would be here, I'm not taking a combo because that would show me a momentum shift. So for this pair, I am very, very likely to stay out of any trades for the rest of the day. And on Monday, I will be looking for a nice small pullback and then a push down, break and retest. That would signal a trend. That would also be a trend from a ascending structure, which makes it even higher probability. Or I would want to see a nice large impulse down and then a flag. Or if we can get this sort of a V and then look for a range, push up and a nice flag to the upside, of course. We can also start to descend and then get a nice reversal to the upside, always a possibility. But I would say on Monday and Tuesday, be a bit more patient. With those reversals, they really don't tend to work out on Monday and Tuesday. So I prefer to take continuation trades. So I prefer to take a trade when the market is trending on a Monday or a Tuesday. Or we can get an ascending and then reverse to the downside. Always a possibility. So yeah, that's it for EU. Currently being patient, sitting on my hands. I think there will not be any more opportunities for me today, as I said, according to my rules. And now let's switch over to the euro and the Japanese yen. This one is looking okay, nothing spectacular. We are kind of still stuck in this range, as you can see here, this major range. But what I do like, so we did get this V reversal, and I was looking at, there was a flag right here actually, so let's discuss that trade. Maybe some people were seeing this impulse and then this flag form, but for me personally, this was just volatility. And usually when we get this V, we just range around, so I did not want to get in on that sort of a setup. and we got huge double wicks, which are usually signal to us a larger range. So when you combine these two factors, I'm definitely not taking any sort of a trade. What I actually expected that will happen, and what I wanted to see this V, and then I wanted to see this range, and I was actually expecting for the price to push up. Then I would be very, very happy to take a trade. But what happened, we actually broke the high, retraced, and reversed to the downside. So this was a little ascending structure right here. And usually when we see an ascending structure, price tends to reverse. And I did like this push, but currently we are getting a huge wick, so that is a big warning sign. So for me personally, I will not be taking any trades on this pair, except if we maybe get a larger push like this wick gets filled, and then we get a combo. As I said, combos are very, very high probability to the entry area. I would maybe consider it, but I wouldn't count on it. It's very, very unlikely to happen in the next 3 hours. So I'm just staying out. I'm just staying out of the market. And also when you squeeze the price action a bit, we are still in this large range. So that is a very, very bad sign. We are still heavily range bound. So what I would look for on Monday, I would look for more of a push down and then a nice flag. I would maybe take that. Or I would look for a pullback, push, break, and a retest trade, but it really needs to be clean. Or maybe a V reversal. That would be probably the highest probability trade. I would be very, very happy to take that, because we would then move away from the range. We would get a nice push up, or maybe a descending structure, reversal up, look for a trade, or an ascending structure, reversal down, look for a trade. But as I said, when you squeeze it in, this looks heavily range bound. So I would advise you to be very, very patient with the setups, especially because Mondays and Tuesdays are also predominantly range bound. So I would say avoid any valid setups, or any setups where you feel where you are on the edge whether to take it or not. I would rather stay out than take a loss. So yeah, be definitely more patient with this pair. Now for the Aussie US dollar, this has broken out of the range, so we were stuck in this range right here. And now we have broken out, but we got a warning sign that price action cannot be sustained to the upside. We got a nice push, pullback, but then we broke the high and retraced, left a huge wick. That's a very, very bad sign. So what I would look for on Monday, I would look for an ascending and then a nice reversal. That would be high probability, because we are forming this ascending structure. If we just descend from here, I would be patient. I would stay out of any trades, because that would just signal to us a larger range. So be a bit more patient if it turns out to be an ascending going into a descending. Of course, I would like to see a large push up. Then I would look for a flag. If we get sort of a break, nice impulse, and then a retest, I would probably stay out of this setup, because the prior price action is signaling to me an ascending structure. We do know this pair likes to trend correctively, but I would like to see a bit cleaner price action. I would like to see at least a nice push up and not just a break and a retest like we got here. But if we push up and then get a pullback and then push up again, I would definitely look for a break and retest trade. So that's about it. So for this pair, currently signaling to me an ascending structure, but on Monday I am waiting for a large push up, or if we get a large impulse down, I would consider taking also a flag, but the push really needs to be large. So now for the Aussie and the Japanese yen. This one was starting to clean up, starting to look good, but when you squeeze it in a bit, you can see we are just heavily range bound. As you can see here, we are definitely stuck in this larger range, and that is a very bad sign, because we are trend traders, so we are looking for trends and not ranges. And we did start to trend to the upside for a bit, but then we broke the high, retraced, broke the high, At this point, I was wanting to see a nice push, but what actually happened is we broke the high retraced and we left a huge wick. So this is actually forming more of an ascending structure than actually trending up. So I am seeing an ascending structure. And as I said, the overall price action does look range bound. One thing to note, when we get a larger range, we usually start to trend heavily in one direction. But the trouble is to be patient and to wait, and actually wait for the market to start trending and sit on your hands for that nice trend. So what my forecast would be, I would want to see, so if we get an ascending and then a reversal, I would be very careful with that. I would probably actually stay out, except if it is really, really high probability because of the overall price action. So I would be really careful with this sort of a setup. If we just descend from here, I would stay out of any trades. There's just no point in taking any trades because so one thing about the Aussie Japanese yen, reversals usually tend to fail. They don't tend to work out, and plus it is heavily range bound, so I would just stay out of this sort of a reversal. What I would definitely recommend looking at is if we start to get a large push up, definitely look for a flag, because it could start a major trend. Or if we get another push, break and a retest, I would also consider that. If we do get a large push down, something like this, and if it's really, really large, I would consider taking a flag. But as I said, this impulse really needs to be large. Maybe something like this. So really, really nice candles. But as I said, once again, I would be a bit more patient. Overall price action is range bound. So on Monday, just be careful. And yeah, that's about it. All of the pairs are looking a bit range bound. Euro US dollar is, let's just find it. So the Euro US dollar is looking the cleanest out of all of the pairs. And let's see what will happen on Monday. Currently, I am just being more patient, sitting on my hands. It is Friday, so I need to see a really high probability setup, which I'm currently not seeing. So yeah, that's it for the forecast, and I will see you guys on Monday.